Okay, so right now we look at Ace of Chess game. Okay, so we have Bishop c4. No, makes sense by Indian Reaper. So right now Ace of Chess playing some pretty decent bug house. Yeah, I mean, I mean, I would probably play e4 here as black, but bishop d6 is fine, so never mind. No, I mean e4 is a little bit better. Bishop on an f8 does have some, some minor, uh, minor protective duties. So yeah, okay. So this is pretty. No, I'm just kidding. Bishop d6 was fine. It's not a big deal. So yeah, Indian Reaper has to go for some kind of attack because he's playing a lower rated player, and I mean this is a little extreme, but we'll see where this goes. Yeah, so far everything Ace of Chess has been doing pretty decent. Yeah, so right now Cheesy Bread needs pawn mates. Okay. I mean, it's not, it's fairly standard game when you're looking at this type of position. And I don't really. I mean, to me, e4 was a little bit better than bishop d3, but it's not a big deal. Hold on. It went a little fast for me. So keep going. Takes. Yeah. So sorry. Okay. Right now, I'm focusing on the nuances of this position. I think there is a lot to be learned in High House. Cheesy Bread is a very strong High House player. Right now, I mean, just wait, see what happens. Nothing too. Now, this is what I don't understand. Why didn't Cheesy Bread sit here? Why play e5? I mean, is it really necessary? I mean, it works, but I mean, oh, they're down so much time. I think my times got switched up. So yes, e5 is necessary. I don't know what's happening with my times, but whatever. Okay, so right now, yeah. No. Well, maybe King f8 was better actually. I'm not so sure. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably would have played King f8, but this might work. No. You can't play. Yeah, King f8 had to be the right move. King e8. You're running into some problems here. The reason why is because you want to somehow King f8. White can't really do anything. White has no checks, so knight e6, king e8, knight takes g7, king f7, and now there's a threat of king takes g7, and there's more escape squares. So king e8 doesn't really. It's not very logical, but here you would have to play king f8. I mean, in order to have some. I mean, bishop b5, bishop at b5 was a good move by Indian Reaper, protecting e2 square and creating a pin at the same time. King f8. Only thing is no knight. Knight mates. So king f8, and I think black is actually. Well, I mean, black is actually doing okay. Just, I mean, no knight. Actually, knight takes d8 would be. Oh no, never mind. Knight takes d8 is not possible because of queen e2 checkmate. So yeah. So I mean, it's just a minor little mistake in this game. All right, now here is, I think ace of chess, trying to deviate from some main lines. Bishop g5, this is fine, but don't take on f6 here. The reason being, you know, it's gonna, with the f6, f7, I mean, I wouldn't take f6 at all. It's going to make your position in the long run very tough to play. Believe it or not. Bishop h5, you know, is actually. I mean, bishop h5 makes this h6 move look a little dumb because long-term prospects, you're going to have some weaknesses on g6 and f7. That you can maybe not. Well, I mean, maybe, but no, I mean, h6 is not very. Just bishop h4, and if g5, I mean, you can do whatever. No, I mean, after g5, you would have to play bishop takes g5, and then knight takes, and then focus on this little weakness. So yeah, bishop takes f6 is not a good move. And I mean, okay, so here, like I said, too much thinking by ace of chess. You have to move quicker. Knight b5. Okay, so here, I mean, well, so yeah, I'm mostly looking more at the perspective of ace of chess right now. Not so much focusing on Cheesy Bread's board. I mean, the problem is, see, the difference. What is the difference between position here and after bishop h5, bishop h4? I mean, e6 does, you know, require an extra move, and then bishop h4, e6, e3. Trying to think here. I mean, I'm not even so sure. Let's just keep going. So yes, pawn at b4. I mean, Cheesy Bread. I mean, knight b5 isn't really that logical, to be honest. It doesn't really make much sense to me, because after a6, you're gonna have to sack a knight, and Cheesy Bread's position, especially, doesn't really. I mean, it doesn't mesh with you know, each other's board. But I mean, you really don't want to go sacking your knight. So I mean, this type of position, probably knight e2. You know, ideally, there's no like pawn here protecting the e5 square, so you have some more options of you know, of some more attacking chances. But for instance, you know, bishop h4, e6, e3. Actually, let's just keep going. Okay, so takes e3, pawn at b4. So yeah, I mean, this is okay. I mean, So, the problem is that what black is so safe here that it's sometimes hard to find what white's going to do right now. So bishop at a4 takes. Now, I mean, you probably should have taken with that bishop in order to threaten the knight there. So yeah, bishop 8 takes didn't make too much sense. And here, I mean, I mean, it's already not very pleasant for white. I mean, I guess. Takes, queen e2. So, like I said, the development is very awkward for white here. Black has chances. I mean, black has a much better position. Now that is very sacrificial, but I mean, no pawn, no pawn, no pawn, no pawn, no pawn, no pawn. Ouch. Ooh, that's not good. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So no queen for cheese bread. So I mean, just minor things in that game that, I mean, not minor, but speed is another important thing here. So let's see if ace chess can, kind of pick up the speed a little bit. I mean, I mean, there's not really any point to developing the knight here. I mean, you have options. I mean, just knight c6 is the worst option. I mean, there really isn't much right or wrong here. I mean, pawn at c6 is probably one of the more logical moves here. c6 doesn't really create any weaknesses, so c6, and then after bishop a4, knight e4 with a very very playable position. No, I mean this is all good, except e6 doesn't really make too much sense here. I would go with e5, d4, ed, bishop b4, check with queen e7, etc. Just because this is a little, it's cramped for both players. I mean, I'm not a big fan of this. Okay, yeah, I mean, okay, this is too sacrificial for white. This is not going to get white. It's not going to do much. Yeah, so I mean, black is playing this pretty well so far. At least, yes, this is good. This is good. Really? Really? Maybe. Okay. Yes. So this is very, not that bad at all. Maybe knight c6 was not that bad. Just a little more on the cramped side. I don't really prefer it. So yes, this is looking pretty good. A lot of sitting going on. Yes, so Yeah, so time situation, it works out well for this. Really? Okay. I mean, I'm not so sure. Bishop takes. I'm not so sure that was actually necessary. To be taking the queen there. Why? Because if you take on h1, taking on a1 is actually, well, for most, in most cases, this is actually, it's a much more standard move, taking on a1, because you're now threatening pawn at c2, which is a very big threat, and you're also threatening the queen. So after knight takes a1, black has to make a defensive effort on the c2 square, and after the c2 square is being protected, then you can take the queen, and well, I mean, it's a little bit better, but it's a move order kind of thing, and I'm not so sure what aceochess going to do here. It's a little bit. The move order was a little bit iffy. Maybe you can get still. Oh wow, knight. Okay, so this is already very strong. Very strong. Very, very strong. Yes. Very good. Very good. Very good. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Bishop takes. Once again, bishop takes f6. Very, very not a good move at all. You're gonna suffer for the entire game because of a pawn structure. Pawn structure is very important in Bughouse. Knight is not really worth any more than bishop. So yes, normal development should have commenced, like e3, knight f3, bishop b5, knight e5, etc. Already black has advantage. Okay. Okay, so here, no. Bishop at, very awkward move. Bishop at c4. Indian Reaper should have gone with, I mean, to be honest, I don't see anything wrong with simply a6 here. Knight takes c7, queen takes, very nice development for black, and not to mention you're eating pieces for your partner. So yeah, a6 is the way to go here. Bishop c4, way too ambitious. e3, yes, e3 is right here. No. Maybe. Here, really? Do you really take on c4? I mean, because I thought, is it really necessary? Wow. I mean, there has to be a better defensive move, is there? Okay, maybe not. No, maybe he was right, because yeah, this is actually not that bad. Taking on c4 and then you're taking on c7. You have two knights here. You're gonna place on d5 and c7 afterwards. So yes, this may have actually been the right call. Knight at d5, very strong, very, very strong. So does black have some counterattacking threats of his own? We'll have to see. Right now it looks like white is doing okay. Yeah, that is true. Queen takes d5. Bishop at h4 is a good defensive move. Now, queen and two pawns and bishop in hand. It's hard to say what exactly what he's going to do here. So what did white do? King e1. No. Did you really have to play that, or? I mean, I guess. I mean, I would have dropped a piece, but I mean, Well, what is black's threat here? Is knight takes... Is that really a threat? I mean, can white do anything to gain initiative? No, it doesn't look like it. So, you know, I mean, king e1... okay, I mean, I guess, I mean, you know, if you... But, you know, speed is an important aspect of the game. You know, you can't be thinking for too long on one move. Otherwise, it gives your... Not only does it give your opponent, you know, more time to react, but, you know, it's bad. You know, time is everything. So, no. It's not good, not good, not good. No, something went wrong here. Something from king e1 to this. I mean, knight takes d4. You know, knight on f3 is guarding d2 square. So, correct defensive move, you know, queen takes d4, followed by e takes after queen takes. Then again, maybe queen trade was bad for Chisi. So yeah, I mean, I would prefer a better. It's just that I would prefer a better move than king e1 here. I'm not so sure what to do as white, to be honest. I mean, I'm really not so sure, to be honest. I mean, maybe king e1 was the only choice. So yeah, but knight takes d4, definitely a blunder here. Either queen takes d4 or e takes d4 had to be played, because after knight takes d4, d2 square is evacuated, and pawn on d4 can be, pawn on d2 can be a problem for white. Is white going to get that pawn, or is black going to get that pawn? It depends. Bishop at, pawn at. Pawn at is what Indian Reaper's waiting for. Pawn at d2, creating some, you know, attacking chances. What does black have? Black has bishop at h3, very powerful move. Time situation. Bishop at h3 is played. So yeah, I mean, here, is there anything white could have done to prevent this? King e2 is better. Oh well, now king e2 runs into stuff like pawn at d3, which is, I mean, it's not good. So yes, king f1 maybe forced. I don't know, but yes, knight takes d4 was not a good move. Anything else, and white would have been doing fine. So bishop at h3. How does white defend this? It's defendable, but we'll see what happens. Knight at g4 strong. Like I said, you have to, when you're defending these types of positions, you want to look at what did. Okay, I mean, that's fine. Bishop at f4. Okay, so sorry. So yeah, oh, okay. So white has neutralized. A little bit surprising that knight takes d4 was not as bad as I thought. Yeah. So they're doing pretty good here, it seems. I don't know what Indian Reaper's doing. Everything Indian Reaper did, starting from bishop at c4, it just went downhill from that move, that one move. And it's actually, one move can mean a lot in Bughouse, especially in some of the more razor sharp positions, that really do affect pawn structure and initiative. So yes, right now Ace of Chess does have a nit, and Haidu just declares resignation here. So yes, overall, not a bad game. Just that bishop takes f6 really limits White in his future counterplay and future init. Okay, so no, bishop e4 it weakens g7 too much. I don't like it at all. Knight at h5 could have been a problem. So lots of stuff going on here, but Black is castled, but I mean, you have weaknesses here. It's not pleasant. There's no reason that Black has to settle for this opening. And yes, okay, so knight mates, we can fast forward a little bit. Oh, what just happened? Yeah, so Bughouse DB doesn't show the endings of games sometimes. So yes, opening was not too impressive. Okay, so here. Yeah. Okay, so interesting. Pawn at e4, it demands a quick reaction, and White has to take advantage. White has to attack Black's position. It's not, White has to make a strong enough threat in order to counter. Because in the long run, if you think about it, e takes f6, e takes f3 is not going to do anything. Just pawn takes f3, and White is fine. So it's not a really big threat, but Indian Reaper's trying to do anything to trick Ace of Chess right now, and bishop g5 is should be a good move here for White, and bishop g5, pawn at f6. Pawn takes f6. Pawn takes f6. A little bit tricky. It is a little tricky here. Bishop g5, pawn at f6, takes. Knight. To be honest, I think White's best bet here is bishop g5, pawn at f6. Takes, and then just maybe bishop h4. Like I said, I'm not an advocate of d4, so I can't really guarantee that White's going to have an advantage after playing 1d4. So yeah, and then after bishop h4, ef, and White is doing very fine. But pawn at d5 here. No, whoa. Going too fast. You have to play takes knight. I don't know if it was mouse slip, but d6 doesn't. It's not called for here. Oh, d6 takes. D6 is a very interesting option. To be honest, I don't understand though. If you're gonna play I think White's best move here is pawn at d6. I mean, looks very very good. Well, not very good, but it looks like a good move. It looks playable. Playable bishop, pawn at d6, bishop at a5. But you see, the thing is, if you're gonna play, if you're gonna play pawn at, you have to do it in one move. Yeah, it just doesn't really work when you. I mean, see, I don't know what's wrong with White House DB. It's not showing full games. So, if pawn at d6 was played right away, right here, pawn at d6. Maybe Cheesy Bread came up with that move. I don't know. Maybe Cheesy came up with it, but pawn at d6, bishop at b4, c3. I mean, it's a game. Takes. I mean, it's just a game, Pawn at d6. I don't know if it's good or not. I would have gone with bishop g5, but there are lines here. Pawn at d4 is interesting. I've never seen it before. And simply knight g5 takes. Maybe it's playable as well. I don't know, but probably not knight g5. So yes. So let's see what we have here. Yes, d3 is a very bad move by Indian Reaper. This is very easy for black to take advantage of, but knight e7 is bad. Queen e7 is black's only move here. Yes, queen e7 is very important. Knight e7, h6 squared, very weak. After queen e7, queen takes e7, knight takes e7. Black is actually pretty safe. Yeah. Queen e7 was necessary. Here, black is in some, it's going to be tough to defend. I mean, what is black going to do here? See, the problem with this move is that rook g8, I mean, to be honest, if you have to play a defensive move here, the g pawn is going to fall, which means that f6 is going to be very weak. I don't know if knight at g4 is going to do anything at this point. I mean, maybe. I mean, it's already very difficult. Knight at g4, I mean, it's the most logical move to me, and then maybe h takes g7, rook g8, and then, I mean, obviously it's going to get deflected. Actually, no, it doesn't even work. Queen takes knight, and then knight f6 is made. So yes, I don't really see, this is very difficult to defend for black. Very, very difficult. Maybe black has to just play like knight at f6 here. And then allow takes. Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much transposition. Bishop at f6, okay. Knight at f6 was also possible for black here. Knight at f6. I mean, knight at f6 looks better than bishop at f6. Just because it doesn't. I mean, it's hard to say. It's really not that. It's like, I mean, see, the thing is, yeah, no, knight at f6 was probably better than bishop at f6 because now rook's coming, everything's coming here. I mean, just little pieces mate for white. Knight mates. In fact, actually, black's already made it here. So, yeah. bishop bishop takes g7 is not possible here for black. What can black do here? I mean, literally, black has to play a really awkward move, like queen d6. I don't even know. I mean, it's pretty much, it's very close to lost already. Okay. So yes, that, I mean, knight e7 is a serious mistake there. All right, let's see, e4 opening. Very good move. e4 on the first move. It is a very good move. Bishop c4, Neff recommends bishop c4 on the second move in reply to this, and obviously Neff is the greatest Bughouse player. Well, you know, he's a world authority, so yeah. Okay, so Combo Kid is kind of like he's kind of making fun of me. To be honest, Indian Reaper likes to sack a lot. I mean, I mean, I probably, I mean, if you're playing e4, e5 systems against IR, go with like pawn at e3. I mean, sacks are annoying. When you're playing Indian Reaper, he's just gonna sack and, I mean, sack and sack and sack. See, this is already not good for white already. Black has gained initiative. See, I mean, what happens here is that, see, the openings that white plays just, it doesn't, the moves don't mesh. You're having bishop c4, it's, I mean, the move order is not it's not proper. Bishop c4, and then you're probably going to want to sack here. If you're playing bishop c4, you want to sack on f7, and then play, I believe, knight h3 is the move after that. I'm not too familiar with theory in this line, but from what I remember, I don't remember anything. I think if you sack here, maybe queen h5 is possible. It looks pretty decent actually. But I'm not so familiar with theory here. Actually, why not just queen h5 right now? Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I mean, it's a strong move. Queen h5 is, right now for white, is threatening f7 and e5. You know, it's going to force black to play something like queen f6. True. So maybe, I mean, maybe sack on f7 first. I don't, see, I don't play this line, so I don't really know theory here. But yes, I mean, if you get into this type of position, well, this is already, I mean, you want bishop at h4 as white. Bishop is very necessary here for white. If not, I mean, it's hard to find a good move for white already. Maybe sack on f7, but no, yeah. See, bishop takes g8 doesn't do anything. I mean, you kind of have to, you kind of have to play queen e2 here. Yeah, queen e2 is necessary, and then after knight takes h1, I mean, you have to find a good move here. Maybe knight at h5 after knight takes h1. You know, with some dual defensive purposes on g3, and you're kind of hitting g7. So, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, it's. I mean, it's bishop takes g8. I mean, it just doesn't. There's no threat. You know. I mean. Anyways, we continue to next game. So, alright, so this is a line. I don't recommend it as black, but it's a line. I mean, did you really? No, no, no. It can't be proper to take on g7 here. Wow, this is already tough to play. I mean, see, I mean, it's tough. These are openings that are tough for black to play. See, if you play bishop b4 check, I mean, well, actually, that's not even going to work because queen at h8 is very strong. So, takes. Can you play a defensive move like queen at g6 here? I mean, that's what I would prefer. If black played a move like queen at g6 to neutralize a little bit. Then again, that runs into pawn at h6, so I mean, it doesn't even work. I mean, it's. I mean, okay. I mean, this is probably black isn't really making any mistakes here. It's just the opening choice is really causing black a lot of problems. I mean, you're gonna have to find some accurate moves here if you're black. Alright, so I mean, obviously trades are gonna come. So rook g8 is not gonna work. It's just gonna lead to pawn at g7, even knight at g7. I mean, you want to, instead of moving the rook, you want to protect it in this situation. See, I mean, I would actually go with queen at g6 here. Queen at g6. If queen at h8, then just rook g8, and black has some threats going on of his own. Queen at g6, bishop takes rook, queen takes bishop, and I mean, just low. I mean, if knight at h5, I mean, it can get a little dicey if white gets too many pieces. But then again, white has some very minor weaknesses with the lack of this bishop. But I mean, overall, I mean, I think black should play queen at g6 here. There's just not enough time to play pawn at g7. Well, maybe there is enough time if you tell him to sit. Yeah. I mean, you want to. Cheesy Bread should have sat here. To be honest, I think too many trades could hurt. I don't know how many trades, but I mean, at this point, right here, this is already getting uncomfortable. If see, at this moment right here, Cheesy Bread should be sitting, so that black can play pawn at g7 and then defend a little bit more. See if. Oh wow, rook king. That's not good. Way too many trades. I mean, I mean, okay, so at about this point right here, black has to be in panic mode. I mean, no, you can't play. No, you can't play rook takes knight here. I think you have to play king. I mean, there are all options. They're all bad for white, for black, because king e7 you're running into pawn at e5. Maybe rook takes was necessary, but no, you have to. With the influx of pieces, queen, rook, and knight, back rank is very vulnerable, and I mean, it's just very tough. I mean, I mean, if you're gonna play an opening that requires such, very, very subtle moments like here, you have to sit here for this square to be to get safe. And I mean, very quickly, black's position is going to just evaporate because, I mean, okay, I mean, here, you have to defend f8, of course. I mean, obviously queen at g6 was a blunder, but no, the position is already pretty much lost for black. It's pretty much lost for black. It's very hard to defend in this type of position. What is the most accurate defensive move here for black? Queen e7. Sure. Queen e7, I mean, black can hold for a bit, seems. Queen e7, just no pawn, maybe? I mean, just no pawn after queen e7 wins. And I mean, black can liquidate after queen e7, queen takes h7, queen e4, queen at e4 check with trade queens and potentially create mate for cheesy bread. So, queen e7, knight at h5 maybe. It is unpleasant to defend, I have to admit. It's very, very difficult to defend a position like this. I think black is pretty close to lost already. Okay. This is it should be instructive here. Right. Knight f6, e5, knight e4, queen g4, knight takes e3, queen takes g7, no rook, no queen. See, this is an opening that we can kind of go to examine mode. Examine board B. Whoops. Examine B bug. No. Yeah, that's it. Okay. So yes. D4 here. What was the game here? We have. So this is a position. E5, knight e4, queen g4, knight takes knight, queen takes g7, no rook. It mates. Rook f8. Either bishop at whoops, no, not that. Either bishop h6 or queen takes h7. I'm not really sure which is better. Either one. Maybe, I mean, maybe, I don't really know. Knight here would be very good for white, though. Plus knight, for sure. I mean, if you can get a knight at f6, very strong. Queen takes f6, queen takes f6. Which also evacuates the g7 square for a potential knight mate. If you cannot get a knight here, I mean, you know, if you're taking here and then, see, the thing is, you just keep doing this. I mean, this is what Neff said. I mean, you know, you let them do that until, I mean, eventually they get bored of doing this, and then, I mean, you're gonna gain enough tempi to, you know, to really wreck the king side here. So, so yeah, white is good initiative here in this line, and I mean, what can black do to avoid it? Play rook g8, maybe. I don't know. See, what I like to do is kind of like mix it up a little. You know, maybe throw in a queen h5. You know, I mean, mix it up a little bit. You know. So yeah, I prefer, I mean, bishop d3 playable, but I prefer e5 here. Has chances for good attacking position. Bishop d3 is playable. No, no, e takes pawn doesn't mesh with the position. If you're going to exchange on e file, you want your bishop to be on b5. Doesn't go well with the position. Now, I don't really know why Indian Reaper didn't take with pawn here. Who knows? I mean, it's playable. It's all playable, but I mean, knight takes maybe. To be honest, I would like it. You want to use your pieces in Bughouse. I mean, obviously you want a knight at h5 if possible. Bishop at g5 is strong as well. See, whoever is the first one to use their pieces in the opening is likely to gain an advantage. Bishop d2 it's playable, but it's passive. It's more on the passive side. Knight at f4. Queen g4 here. You gotta play a move like queen g4 here. With the bishop on f8 gone, queen g4 can do some damage. Knight takes bishop, pawn takes. You're gonna have some weaknesses here. You're gonna have some threats here. I don't really see any other good move for white here besides queen g4. Bishop, I mean, see, it's I don't really know. I mean, you could play bishop at f1. I mean, it's not good, but bishop at f3 looks a little bit iffy. I would prefer the bishop on f1. Why? Because with the bishop at f1, you can play knight at e3 to defend, and it's going to be a little less awkward. Because, for example, with the bishop at f1 instead of at f3, if pawn at h3, knight takes h3, and it's less awkward than the bishop on f3 because the bishop on f3 is being hit by the knight here, and
tactics here. It's very important to defend precisely in bug chaos. Now, hold on. I don't think this was necessary, though. I don't think you had to play... You see, I would have played king takes d2. Indian Reaper's just going to sack, but king takes d2, and I don't see what black has here after king takes d2. Queen takes is a blunder, though. No, you want to... If you're going to... You want to... Pawn at e2 doesn't do anything. Knight at f3 check you're not really worried about because it's just king e2. You want to, if anything, you want to try to gain initiative. You have 2 pawns. Maybe rook g1 here. You're gonna want to play rook g1. Focus on black's kingside weaknesses. Pawn at e2 is just too slow. Actually, d4 is actually kind of being hit right now, so kind of. Yeah, pawn e2 is just too slow. Okay. Takes there. Maybe rook g1 was necessary before knight at h5.
Partnership request.
It's kind of irrelevant. Can anything have been done? I don't know. Here, very important, play d4 here. d4, if knight d5, knight f6, just pretty equal for white. Or, I'm sorry, for black. d4, knight d5, e6 is a line. I don't recommend doing that. A lot of strong players like Gus McLean have frequented such lines, but I think knight f6 takes, e takes, knight f3, bishop g4, bishop e2, knight c6, castle over queen e7, something like that. You're kind of... See, with e6, it's playable. You have to be careful, though. Very careful. After d4, it's equal. It's equal. White can do nothing. Here, though, you have to play bishop e7 as black. Certainly, bishop e7, knight f6, castle, something like that. Bishop e6 loses. Yeah, it just loses. Pawn at a6.
No, I like if I like to use my pieces in the opening. I would recommend a move like pawn at f3 here. I don't know what Indian Reaper's doing, but it's not good. I don't see what's wrong with just taking the knight. Pawn takes d4 is being hit. Black has sacked 2 pieces already. I mean, there has to be a way to defend that. Maybe bishop e... Nah. I'm not so sure. Who knows? Pawn takes knight, pawn takes pawn. Bishop e3. Maybe. I mean, looks fine for white. I mean, I really don't see what the big deal is. Maybe no knight. No, 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 no. You have to block. You have to block here. Knight at d3. Ideally pawn at d3, but...
Partnership request.
Knight at d3. Just no knight. Low on trades. No knight. Really? King e3? Does that really... I mean, it looks very bad after pawn at f4. King takes f4. Why did Cheesy Bread just resign here? I don't see what's... I mean, just no pawn. I mean, it's not resignable, but... Good, 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 good. Take queen. Take the queen. Knight c6, good move. Bishop d7. Bishop f4. Bishop, no, no, no. That's good. Very good. Pawn at g4. Very good. Take on g2. Take on g2. No! Are you sure about that, Long Castle? It really doesn't look good to me. If you take on g2, you're doing absolutely fine. Very good here. Very good position for black. After you take on g2. If anything, play rook d8, but Long Castle, no. I don't like that move. Maybe okay, maybe I was overreacting. Maybe I was. I think. Okay, I mean, maybe. No, knight takes g4 was missed. Maybe, I don't know, maybe not. Never mind. That's the problem with long castling. No! Why'd you do that? Why not just, I mean, 93, I mean, black has already spent 2 moves. 2 very strange pawn placements. Yeah, I mean, can you take on c7? Depends. Queen takes knight at b5. It's playable. It's very playable. I'm not a sacrificial person, so I wouldn't know. Um, I mean, it's very sacrificial. To be honest, if you had 2 knights, then maybe, but I'm not so sure 1 knight. But at least 93, that just loses a piece. Yeah. Knight at h5 here. Okay. Rook g1, knight h5, yes. Rook g1, good. Interesting. I don't think that works. I mean, I don't see why not just... Oh, I see. Why not just bishop takes knight and then bishop takes here? Bishop takes knight and then bishop takes f5. That was the wrong move order. I mean, that just leaves some more weaknesses. I don't... Very strange game. Okay. More Man, this goes so fast, I can't even... I didn't even see what happened. Hold on. In this position, sure, why not? You can play a move like knight f3, but if you have a bishop and a knight in hand, I mean, why not play something like knight at h5 with some threats like bishop at f6 maybe, or something like that. It looks a little... Knight at h5, knight at e4. I mean, you know, maybe bishop d3. I don't know. I mean, you can use your pieces. Oh, nice. Very nice. Yeah, this is good. Oh, I didn't realize that ace of chess was black. I thought ace of chess was playing white. Okay, so that, I mean, that would probably explain why I was confused. Yeah, I mean, this is not a good opening for black. If anything, you want to at least preserve your knight here. Play like knight b6. I still don't like it. Here, no, I mean, here you want to take on d5. Taking on e5 takes. Eh. Take on d5, maybe. Well, I mean, taking on d5 and then pawn takes pawn and c takes. You know, I don't know. Who really knows at this point? But I mean, it does look nicer for black. If it, no, I mean that's just bishop d7 just loses the pawn. I mean, to be honest, I don't understand really why you have to develop your knight. I mean, you could play Indian Reaper style and place a knight on e4 and then sack on f2, or you can just play knight at e4, bishop d3. Maybe you do have to develop this knight. I don't know. But bishop d7, I don't understand that move. Just simply, well, like I said, black's opening choices is very strange. So it's hard to find a good move here for black. Probably you kind of have to play maybe knight at e4. a6, no, a6 is too slow, maybe. Knight at e4, I guess. I don't know. Alright, well, yeah. No, you had to place a knight on. Oh, does that work? Never mind. Maybe that does work. No! King e7 was necessary. Okay, this is just bad. I don't know how they're going to win this one. Yeah. I mean, just the opening choice, knight f6, e6, knight d5, not good. Well, this one they won. Hi, dude. Whoa. Okay. He likes doing that. Yes, pawn at e3, solid move. If you're playing Indian Reaper, protect the sacks. Strong. I wouldn't go so far to say that that was good. Interesting. See, the thing is, d3 is just too passive. You kind of have to play like bishop c4. Okay, the question here is, can white do anything better than knight d5? I don't know. Not a good opening choice for white, again. But I mean, overall, I guess this is okay for white. Nothing too special, but it's playable. It's not like black has much anyways. Wow. Indian Reaper missed d6. Knight h6 is bad, but I don't know if... Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Cheesy Bread wanted that pawn. That's why. Probably why. You need a strong attacking move right now. I don't know what that is, but I have no idea what Indian Reaper is doing, but it's not good, that's all I know. Ace of Chess is playing some pretty decent moves right now. I think, maybe. Not sure. I think why not just Bishop H4? I mean, why do you have to place a bishop there? You can just, okay, I don't know. Maybe the bishop at f2 is doing some useful defensive purposes, and right now Indian Reaper's just lost. So overall, that was a pretty nice game for Ace of Chess. I mean, Indian Reaper went way too aggressive there.
Partnership request.
Ace of Chess's openings are just really bad. Bishop takes d5, obviously. Opening choice is just really not good. See, there's a pretty big difference. Cheesy has nothing. There's a pretty big difference here. I mean, if you actually played d4, knight c6, knight c3, and then play knight f6, knight e5, knight d5, knight takes d5, e takes d5, followed by d6. I mean, that's a pretty standard opening. But this is not standard at all. With c pawn being pushed, because it's harassing the knight too much. And I mean, what I'm trying to say is something like this would work better. So with the extra knight c6 and knight c3 in, with the extra knight c6 and knight c3 in, there's no longer that c4 move, and this is just a normal opening. I've seen it in High House a few times. I don't know the theory behind this, but you don't want to lose material in the opening. It's very important. Alright, see, I don't understand. You have a free... Indian Reaper is giving you a free pawn on e5. Takes. Queen h4, check g3. Queen takes e4. Bishop g2. Queen takes knight, then you just play rook g1, or rook e1. So I don't understand why not just take that free pawn. This happened a little too fast for me. Again, you kind of have a free pawn here, don't you? Well, not anymore, because of queen h4 check. So yes, d3, d5. Wow. This is just so fast, I can't even see what's happening. Bishop at h4, no, I don't like that. I like bishop at h4 maybe, but trades were coming anyway, so it's very scary in any case. And white's down a tempo, so it's quite impossible for white to defend this position. So besides not taking the e-pawn in the opening, I'm not so sure where exactly white went wrong. See, like I said, rook f1 is a slow move here. You don't want to... There's just not enough time to play rook f1, king g1. They're both two defensive moves when the king on f2 is actually rather safe here. Believe it or not, the king on f2 is safer than if you put it on... If you play rook f1, king g1, you know, he's just going to play d5, pawn at h3, and the king's even more unsafe. So, I mean, you kind of have to play something like d3 here, and if knight g4 check, simply play king e2, is it? King e2. Hopefully no knight. If knight at f2, then you have potential bishop at h4. I mean, that would probably be my recommendation here. Oh, here's the important part, though. King on g1 is less safe than king on e1. So king on if king e1 here, knight takes bishop, bishop takes pawn, and white is fairly safe. I mean, I don't really see what the big deal is after king e1. King g1, then it's just less safe. See what I mean? I mean, if the king was on e1 instead of g1 right now, I still don't really see the point of rook f1. Yeah, so I mean, but even here, if king e1, I mean, king e1, knight takes h6, bishop takes d5, pawn at h3. I mean, it's hard to say what white will do, but it's perfectly safe for white. King has many escape routes. Maybe queen e2. I can't really tell right now, but king e1 is definitely safer than king g1. And obviously that rook f1 move was not good. And taking the pawn in the opening. I forgot. Taking the pawn earlier. Okay, let's look at another game. Indian Reaper. Okay, you know, in order... if you're going to allow this, why not just play... I mean, I think maybe theory is probably knight e4 here. Probably the best move, knight e4. But I mean, you can always just play d6 and just give him the free knight, and then just defend this f6 square, and then, I mean, it's playable. I don't recommend it at all, but I mean, knight e4 is definitely much more logical than knight d5. But in any case, this opening is not good for black. Okay, this is transposed, but no, you don't take on e5. See, when you're liquidating the pieces, I mean, it's just giving white a much better position. Knight on e5 is much stronger than on f3, and if you're just playing a move like knight c6 here, for example, knight c6, bishop d3, you can maybe drop a knight on f4. But if you don't have anything, I mean, knight c6, bishop d3, you want to, instead of, you know, trading pieces, you want to look for the way to maximize your pawn structure. If you're worried about him taking your pawn, you just do c takes pawn. There's just no weakness at all. Everything is very safe. After knight c6, bishop d3,
Hmm. What's the line here? I don't really play this as black, but I mean, if you had a piece, I mean, you would probably want to use it like knight c6, bishop d3, bishop at h5 is good. Pawn at f5 is probably good. Or simply just develop it. You don't want to develop the f7, f8 bishop. You would maybe play. I'm not even so sure what you would play. Queen e7, maybe queen e7. Knight c6, bishop d3, queen e7. Maybe. It does leave weaknesses. That's why I prefer to drop a piece or a pawn. But yeah, it's when you take on e5, your position just becomes worse. For example, bishop b5 here, and now you just wasted a tempo. It's already not pleasant. Yeah, it's very, very unpleasant for black. Now, if I had to choose a better move, there has to be a. I mean, D takes E5 is, once again, it's not a losing move. It's just. You're going to have to play very carefully if you make a mistake like D takes E5. For example, here, can you get away with knight at F4? Does that work or no? Do you have to take on C3 first? Like I said, it's very hard to tell what works for black and what doesn't. Obviously, trades are good here for white, because after bishop d7, knight's going to be sacked on f7, and if black does not take that knight, then black automatically is just lost. I mean, at this point, you have to take the knight here, and just hope for no trades. Because if you play queen f6, your position is going to get worse and worse and worse. After king takes f7, true. If another knight comes, you could be in some trouble. But for example, king takes f7, knight at e5, king e8, knight bishop at f7, king e7, knight at g. Like I said, the squares are covered pretty well. Knight at g6, pawn takes, knight takes. I mean, the worst case scenario is that white gets another knight, and it's just a little bit more unpleasant, but it's defendable. But if you allow knight takes rook without any sort of like queen sack, then I mean, knight at e4 is a good try, but the problem is not strong enough threat. Knight at g4 attacks the queen, protects the pawn at the same time. Black is in trouble. Ace of chess playing pretty good here. No blunders, really. I have no idea what Indian Reaper has been doing, just killing his position. He has no sense of logical moves. All he does is sacrifice material. I mean, it's almost kind of funny.
The way he's been sacrificing so much, and it leads to nothing. So yes, very good game by Ace Chess. And this is pretty easy. Like I said, I don't recommend e6 against e3. Okay, so this is playable. Nothing too exciting going on so far. Except, I don't understand. I don't really get it. Alright, so bishop d7. Bishop d7 here. Okay, maybe he wants him to sit. But I mean, they're down time anyways. Bishop d7. Really? I mean, does that do... Whoa! That was an insane mouse slit. Wow. Okay. Whew. That was a very bad mouse slit. Yeah. Bishop d6. Bishop takes. No, not pawn takes. Bishop takes was stronger. Okay, not really anything interesting so far in this game. Nothing really to look at. Wait, did they lose this game? Really? I mean, time is an important part of this game. You can't be sitting too much on one move. D4. Wow. Very innovative, to say the least. Except I don't think D4 was any good. But, you know, very creative. By far one of the more interesting positions. It's actually pretty funny. It's funny how the queen trade's coming and like knight mates hard to get. Cheesy bread. Castling, not good. I don't like to castle. Not a good move, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is getting boring. Wow, high dude got mated. I don't really know what to say about that game. Just interesting. Opening definitely needs a lot of work for Ace of Chess. This opening is really bad. It just loses automatically. So no. You want to play like very important to play bishop at h4 in this position. Very, very important. Oh no, you don't have a bishop, never mind. No, you do have a bishop. Bishop at h4, very necessary here. Otherwise, it's very unpleasant for white. And, I mean, to be honest, opening choice here for white, you have to do something to avoid what Indian Reaper's trying to do. Indian Reaper's just trying to sack and sack and sack. But you have to do something. Just something, you know, to, like, right here. Bishop c4 doesn't do anything. You know, you want to play a defensive move. Black has no pieces out, so just play like pawn at h3 here, and you're a lot safer compared to developing the bishop and allowing trades to come, because Indian Reaper's spamming his partner plus 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 right now. You know that's a given fact because he likes to sacrifice material, and queen e2 is not good. See, lot of sacrificing going on here. I have to say that, so yeah, I mean, you gotta do something to prevent the sacks. There's some kind of way to not let Indian Reaper do what he wants you to do. I don't know why he keeps playing this. It's not good. This opening is not any good for black. Wow. Who won that game? High dude forfeits on time. Not good at all for white. Knight takes... I don't think that was any good. No. I mean... I don't... See, you have to stop what Indian Reaper's trying to do. It's not like he's doing anything that's... It doesn't really matter how you stop it. You just... One move, you have to do something about it. Well, I mean, knight takes is not good. So yeah, the key here is probably just bishop takes, and then I don't even know what. Well, I mean, I personally here I would probably play something like pawn at h3, just because you've seen Indian Reaper play d5, knight g4, all that stuff. You know he's gonna do that. So why not just stop him from doing it? And you've already won a piece. So just simply pawn at h3, d3. Just really try to stop black's initiative. Even here, I mean. I like d3 more than rook f1. But, I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe, I'm not so sure here. Queen trade is coming, so rook f1 may be necessary. I mean, if you just play bishop takes and then pawn at h3, I don't really know. I mean, maybe knight takes e5 after pawn at h3. So bishop takes, pawn at h3, knight at e5, knight takes e5 could work. One last game. Actually, was it two? Or I don't know. I'm getting tired as well. Once again, not a good opening for ace of chess. Okay. So yes, that was good analysis. Very long.